Hey, welcome to AGB132, Agribusiness and Management. This is a video on the class procedures, an overview of the class itself. And with this, I'm going to go over some basic things. As you know, this is AGB32 online, 132 online, and it's known as e-learning. And e-learning is kind of a blending a non-traditional education with a traditional learning platform when we do this. And with that being said, remember always to keep in mind, read your syllabus. I can't tell you how many times that's important to read your syllabus. Well, the way we have our course weekly timeline set up, it's in modules. Each week has a module that you'll follow, and in that module there's the learning activities. The timeline goes like this, where basically on Wednesday at 12:01, the module will be opened up for that week. And that week goes from that Wednesday to the following Tuesday. So realistically then it opens up on a Wednesday, and then you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to complete the work within that module. And then Tuesday is the due date and time. It's always Tuesday at 11 p.m. Okay, that's the deadline. So keep in mind, remember always each weekly module starts on Wednesday, ends on the following Tuesday. Okay, and remember the 11 o'clock things, and don't start trying to put it off at like at 10:59. I don't know how many times students try to do that and then they get stuck. So make sure you give yourself time to do that stuff before that deadline. So let's look at our traditional calendar and a non-traditional calendar that we have. Our traditional calendar basically is set up on weekly due dates. Okay, start, the end, and then the due date closing. This basically keep the students on task for those people to understand it. We'll set that up that way for traditional learning. Okay, and then non-traditional, basically what happens after the midterm exam week, what I do is then becomes opening up for students wishing to work ahead at a faster pace, and then work ahead of the traditional class weekly pacing guide. So those people who want to work ahead faster, quicker, they can do that after the midterm. Of course, you have to be complete those first beginning and the midterm, so they can show that you can do that. Okay, doesn't mean you can be late. It just means you can move forward. And so keep in mind, the midterm and final exams will have set time periods. Make sure you check your calendar on that. That's one thing that doesn't change. So you need to make sure you don't forget those windows when they open up for the midterm and the finals. So if you look at your calendar, the calendar is there for help you to kind of follow along what's going on. It helps keep you on track, what needs to be done. But notice that on your calendar when you open it up, and a lot of people will print this and put this someplace where they can kind of watch over it to make sure they don't get behind. But that first column gives you the dates of that. The second is that week number that's in that semester that we work with in those modules. And then the other one is the dates that you have, like Tuesdays, like we said, are due dates, and then Wednesdays when they open up. So you can see how the due date here opens up here on that and gives you the date. Okay, so that's how you look at your calendar. Of course, the module itself is listed here, the name of the module and what's in there, and then the due dates is there too as well. And of course, then you have tracks to the right that shows you the traditional pathway, which means you follow week by week with your due dates. And then after that midterm, then you see the non-traditional, where all the modules will open up after that, so that you can go as fast or quicker and do those things at your own faster pace than the normal traditional pace. Remember to always view your calendar weekly to keep track of those things you have to get done. So when you look at your module, every module has what we call a module checklist at the beginning. This kind of gives you a snapshot of what's going to be going on. Plus it gives you contact in case, whatever the need be, because you know how it is sometimes the contact also you need something or forget about something and you have to contact, but the contact information there too as well. But it's a snapshot what goes on in the module. And within the modules there's coding to help you and I both, when we have a conversation or talk about things that we may not sure of, we know we're on the same page when we're talking. Okay, so basically, if for example you're looking at the first coding is 0A1C there in the module checklist, well, this is how the coding works. That first number always deals with the number, the week number of the module. So whatever week number we're on the semester, that's what it tells you. Okay. The second one is the folder in the module. So A would be like in the first folder you have, could be B or C folders within that module. So that's how we look at the folder. And then the last number here is the activity number in the module. So that kind of gives you a real good coding. So when you have a question, you give the week, the folder, and the activity. So we both know what we're talking about if you have to communicate with me for anything. Of course, then you have the organizational key that's here, and that's you see these in these LV, C, LV is learning video, C checklist, R means there's going to be some kind of a reading assignment, CG is usually assessment, either a checklist or a quiz, some kind of assessment like that. But that gives you that, and that coding is on that checklist too on the following next page we'll talk about. Then then you have the activity title right here, the name of the title that falls on that. Okay. And then remember, whenever you have a conversation or questions with me, the easiest way to do is always verify with what we're talking about, so we're both on the same page, and we're not trying to figure out where you're at, where I'm at, where I have to go to. Okay, just makes it easy for everyone. Of course, this is what I told you about the organizational key. It's usually on the second page of your checklist, the module checklist. That just gives you an idea of what these represents, so they kind of get a mindset for yourself what you have to do during that module week. So in this online class, remember, you have to ask yourself, are you a problem solver or problem creator? And you've been there before, that we find out online you have to be a really good problem solver, because a lot of times if you get frustrated really quickly, you can tendency to let it blow up on you. So the idea is to be a problem solver and follow those things, like understand how your Canvas works, understand the due dates when they open up, watch the calendar, read the syllabus. Okay, and problem will be solved most of the time, right? So, lessons we learned in 2020, which is something that I've added on to all my classes, is basically, we want to be safe, want to be prepared, want to be flexible in our learning. And so what I've added an addendum to all my syllabus and all my classes is this life-changing event. Okay, remember I told you before, I have one mission, student success. Well, I realize that you may be faced with a life-changing event during the semester, such as a change in employment status, a change shift, changing the work days, off days, an illness, or other family related events. Please contact me ASAP. I'm more than willing to provide modifications and then modifications and deadlines in class, attendance extensions that will assist you in completing the course successfully. But the idea is you gotta tell me, no, I can't guess that. So things do happen. So because that lesson we learned in 2020 is that, well, we need to be flexible, we need to be prepared too, but be safe. Okay, so keep that in mind whenever things like that may happen. And then have a great semester. Remember, if you have questions or anything, you can email me, or if it's really important, really fast, you can always text me. I give you that, you can text me. But remember, when you text me, always put your name and the name of the class. Sometimes you get some crazy questions and I have no idea who it is. Okay, so remember, text me when it's important. Don't text me to say, hey, are you having a great day? Okay, hey, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you a little later.